5 years after breaking up, I suddenly received a call from Felix Liu. Stella Shin, come to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get your marriage certificate in 5 days. Our wedding will be held at the Hill Manor. This is the wedding of the century I promised you. My mind went blank for a moment and in shock I blurted out, didn't we break up 5 years ago? A scoff came from the other end of the line. Break up? I never agreed to it. You suddenly came back to the country, isn't it because you heard I was getting married? Don't worry, the bride is you. As for Susu, I hope you can be generous. In the 1,800 plus days and nights you were gone, she was the one who accompanied me. I trust you can treat her well. I rolled my eyes and hung up immediately. Suddenly, several lines of comments appeared in front of me. The female lead left without a word for 5 years. Don't let Felix Liu's tough talk fool you. His heart is actually breaking. Felix Liu announced that he was going to marry Susu, but it was actually to give the female lead a grand wedding. As soon as the female lead returned to the country, he eagerly came looking for her. Where was Felix Liu all this time? Now I have a virtuous husband and both a son and a daughter. Who cares about his pile of dog poop? I pressed the power button and threw my phone aside, ignoring the countless text messages and calls that were bombarding it. In the dead of night, a faint and continuous knocking sound could be heard. Open the door. Stella Shin, how long are you going to be stubborn? The noise was truly disturbing and I abruptly pulled open the villa door, causing Felix Liu to stop short, looking slightly disheveled. His gaze was fixed on my face, then swept over my body and he sneered, Without me you've fallen into this sorry state? Only then did I notice that the casual house dress I had hastily thrown on was my mother's. The color was a bit old-fashioned but it was comfortable. I was about to speak when Felix Liu interrupted me. All right, now that you know you were wrong and you're back, I won't hold your impulsive departure against you. Felix Liu's tone shifted, his smile fading slightly. But I can't forgive you for slapping Susu back then on her behalf. The fact that we can get married now is all thanks to Susu's generosity, and I hope you can apologize to her. Susu is gentle and kind and she took care of me in the days you were gone. Because of you I can't give her a formal title, but I hope you can treat her like a sister, and we can give her a home together. A million grass mud horses galloped through my heart, but my face remained expressionless. Simply because I am no longer the little girl I once was, and Felix Liu is not worthy of me being emotionally moved by him again. If I were to get angry, I'm afraid he would think I'm jealous of Susu. Felix Liu, what makes you think I can't live without you? Have you ever thought that 5 years is a long time, long enough for me to have gotten married and had children? Felix Liu's eyes swept over my slender waist and he sneered, in this whole circle who doesn't know that you are Felix Liu's woman? You've had a bad temper since you were a kid, willful and ignorant. Who but me would tolerate you? Stella, now that your family has fallen, which family would be willing to let you in as the mistress of the house? Besides me, who would marry you? Heh. I found it funny and I really couldn't help but laugh out loud. Felix Liu and I are well matched with a marriage contract arranged since childhood. Although it was a marriage arranged by our families, we had a good relationship. He once promised to hold a grand wedding of the century for me at Hill Manor after graduation. But before graduation he killed Susu's grandmother in a car accident while speeding. Entrusted with the care of Susu on her deathbed, he's had a little tag-along ever since. Susu kept provoking me and finally I couldn't help but slap her. Felix Liu held her in his arms, a look of disappointment on his face. You know how pitiful Susu is. She has already lost her only relative and I am her last support. Can't you be more understanding? In my heart she is just like a sister. You will be her sister-in-law in the future. Can you stop being so petty? It seems I've spoiled you too much usually. You should calm down. The so-called calming down meant ignoring me for 3 months, while flaunting his affection with Susu everywhere. Everyone knows that he, Felix Liu, dumped me for someone new. I left him a message. Let's break up. Without looking back I went to Paris, France for a relaxing trip. I didn't expect that one trip would lead me to meet my current husband. You smiled and I knew you had feelings for me, otherwise why would you smile at me? Felix Liu reached out to caress my face, but I dodged him, instantly wiping away my smile. I'm just naturally cheerful, which seems to have caused Mr. Liu some misunderstandings. Felix Liu shook his head helplessly, a doting smile on his face. Stella, you're still as mischievous as ever. Oh well, once we're married you won't be able to avoid me anymore. I know exactly how much you love me. After waiting for 5 years, I will definitely give you the most perfect wedding. Seeing things getting more and more off track, I stepped on his toes and ground down hard. Taking advantage of Felix Liu's pain, I quickly closed and locked the door in one fell swoop. Unfortunately, I was wearing flats, not heels. Through the heavy door, I left him with a sentence. Felix Liu, get out, we're over a long time ago. The comments reappeared. Good news. The male lead finally spoke. Bad news. Why does the male lead have such a mouth? It would be better to poison him and make him mute. Finally understand why the female lead ran away. He deserves a lifetime of being single. I really want to slap the male lead. The female lead should be independent and beautiful, please. Felix Liu looked at the shoe print on his foot, but instead revealed a look as if he had seen through me. Okay, since you're shy, I won't go in today. I'll send someone to bring you the wedding dress tomorrow. Try it on to see if it fits. Su picked it out. It fits her perfectly and you girls have similar tastes. You don't look like you've gained weight, so you should be able to wear it. My upbringing prevents me from cursing out loud. I suddenly regret refusing that person's company. Coming back to the country alone first was indeed a terrible decision. I couldn't help but kick the front door to signal him to shut up. Felix Liu frowned. Stella Shin, you really need to change your temper. If you become the mistress of the Liu family in the future and continue like this, you won't be presentable. You should learn from Su in this regard. In the past 2 years the family business has indeed been declining. My parents are getting old, and after entrusting the family business entirely to professional managers, they have come to my side to enjoy their retirement. Therefore there is no one else in the villa besides me at the moment, otherwise I would have had him kicked out long ago. Felix Liu, Su is so great, why don't you marry her? I mean it sincerely. I have to admit they're a good match. Every pot has its lid, just don't come and ruin me. Felix Liu's laughter came from outside the door again. Stella, you're jealous again. I've told you so many times, you're the only one in my heart. I won't respond to Su's love for me. Just wait patiently to put on your wedding dress and be my bride. Listening to the receding footsteps, I felt a sense of helplessness, like talking to a brick wall. Oh well, in a few days my parents will return to China with the children and that person will be with them. When Felix Liu sees him he will naturally stop bothering me. As dawn broke, the Liu family indeed sent someone with the wedding dress. It was in a gift box which I didn't open. Having already worn a one-of-a-kind custom-made wedding dress, who would care about a second-hand dress that someone else had tried on? I accepted the gold-embossed invitation from Felix Liu's assistant, Chin Exin. Looking at the bride's side of the invitation, the name Su was printed, then crossed out and replaced with Stella Shen. I laughed and threw the invitation back into Chin Exion's hands. Assistant Chin, you must have the wrong person. Send the wedding dress to Miss Li. I think she will be more than happy to receive it. Chin Exion's face changed drastically. Miss Shen, this was supposed to be Mr. Liu and Miss Li's wedding. You're the one who interfered and caused Mr. Liu to change his mind. Now you're putting on an act. I really don't understand what Mr. Liu sees in you. To hurt such a kind and wonderful Miss Li for your sake. Indeed, one takes on the color of one's company. A bad brain is contagious. I ignored Chin Exin barking behind me and strode away. After being away for so many years, I really miss Yanting's private dishes. Maybe I've just been unlucky lately. My car broke down halfway, so I took a cab to the entrance of the banquet hall. As soon as I got out of the car I saw Felix Liu just opening his car door. He raised an eyebrow. You returned the wedding dress I sent over just a moment ago, and now you're following me to the banquet hall. Stella Shen, can you please stop being so duplicitous? I know you care about me, but this stalking behavior of yours is despicable. You mind Su's existence, but if I wanted to be with Su, I would have been with her long ago. I rolled my eyes and walked past him towards the banquet hall door. Stella Shen, stop pretending. I just saw you arrive by taxi. Has the Shin family gone bankrupt? Are you so poor now that you can't even afford a car? It's not that I look down on you, but you're simply not qualified to spend money at Yanting right now. If you're trying to show off and can't pay the bill later, don't come begging me. Even though my family's business isn't as good as it was a few years ago, it's not like we can't even afford a meal. Just because he saw me taking a taxi he thinks my family is about to go bankrupt? I'm having a hard time understanding Felix Lu's thought process. Releasing my clenched fist, I tried my best to speak calmly. I think you should eat more walnuts. Nourish your brain. Felix Lu revealed a knowing smile again. You still remember I love walnuts? Never mind, I won't hold it against you this time. It's good that you're here. I invited my brothers today and Susu is here too. Since everyone is here you can apologize to her and let all the previous conflicts disappear. I retracted the foot I had stepped into the banquet hall. No, even the best food would be unappetizing with his face around. As I turned around, a figure blocked my path. Sister, why do you want to leave when you see me? Susu was no longer the frugal girl I remembered. Dressed like a wealthy heiress, she barely reached my height with her towering heels. She glanced at Felix Lu with a hint of grievance, then turned back to me. Is elder sister angry about the invitation? You've been gone for 5 years and Felix suddenly says he's getting married. Everyone thought I was the bride, that's why the name was printed wrong. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I couldn't control my feelings. Even though it was only 5 years together, it's been unforgettable for me. But because Felix loves you, I'm willing to give him back to you. As she spoke, Susu shed a heartbroken tear. Susu, don't cry. Felix Lu lovingly pulled Susu into his arms, glaring at me. Stella Shen, I thought you had changed for the better, but I didn't expect you to still be so unreasonable. I haven't even said a word and she's already crying. I met Felix Lu's gaze, my eyes filled with coldness. Felix was stunned for a moment, then his tone softened. Stella, you've lived in a wealthy family since you were little. Susu has a pitiful background and you don't understand her inner sensitivity. Even if you didn't say anything, your attitude was enough to hurt her. I hope you can apologize to Susu. After all, you're the older sister and you should take good care of her. I smirked. Who is her sister? I'm an only child, please don't try to claim relatives randomly, okay? Also, did I cause her miserable life? I remember it was clearly you who ran over and killed. Shut up. Felix Lu looked disappointed. Stella Shen, if you still want to marry into the Lu family, stop acting up. Felix, what's so good about Stella Shen? She ran off to a foreign country without a word back then, not a peep. You were drinking yourself silly every day because of her. If Susu hadn't found out early, you would have had a perforated stomach. Yeah, Felix, we've all seen how good Susu is to you. She's waited 5 years for you, and we wholeheartedly only recognize her as our sister-in-law. Stella Shen, if I were you, I wouldn't even have the face to stand here. Being all hypocritical, you were the one who dumped Felix back then. And now you can't stand seeing Felix and Susu's good relationship, so you deliberately came to sabotage them. It's truly disgusting. Felix Lu's group of cronies, seeing that he and Susu hadn't entered the private room for a long time, came out to find them and ran into the three of us confronting each other, immediately uniting to denounce me. Susu nestled in Felix Lu's arms, her eyes slightly red, with that tear hanging on the corner of her eye, about to fall. She took off the bracelet from her wrist and handed it to me with some reluctance. Sister, this bracelet was a gift from my aunt. She said that only the daughter-in-law of the Lu family is qualified to wear it. Today I'm returning it to its rightful owner. Felix Lu stopped her and put the bracelet back on her wrist. If my mom gave it to you, then it's yours. There's no need to wrong yourself. Susan smiled, a look of happiness on her face, then froze because she heard Felix Lu say, You don't have to worry about Stella. I bought a top-quality jadeite of glass variety and plan to make it into a bracelet for her as compensation. My face also froze. I took a deep breath and said word by word, I'm married and have 2 children. Silence fell around us, but Felix Lu leisurely released Susu and strolled to stand in front of me. Stella Shen, stop joking like this. You shouldn't tell such a big lie just to spite me. I already checked. Your marital status is single and you definitely don't have any children. Or are you saying you ran off 5 years ago pregnant and gave birth to my twins? Felix and his buddies burst into laughter, making Susu stomp her feet in anger secretly. I silently took out my phone, planning to show them my 2 adorable little babies. Perhaps it was telepathy. A video call came through. I tapped to answer and two identical chubby round balls appeared on the screen. Mommy. Two milky, childish voices rang out simultaneously, instantly drawing everyone's attention. Felix Lu's breath hitched. He snatched my phone and stared intently at the two little figures on the screen. They looked to be only 2 years old, definitely not 5. Who are you, mister? Can you give the phone back to my mommy? DeBeo looked at the strange uncle in confusion. Felix Lu was breathing rapidly, his hands trembling. Who is your mother? Mom is just mom. Dababeo said, puzzled. Brother is so silly, mom is called Yaya. Xiaobao waved her little pink fists a couple of times. Clatter. The phone hit the ground, the screen instantly black. The comments section exploded. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Is the male lead being cheated on? If it's a runaway with child plot, the two kids would have to be at least 4 or 5 years old, so you know what that means. Stop guessing, everyone. Have you forgotten this is a chasing wife crematorium story? The kids are just obstacles the author designed to make it harder to win her back. Maybe it's the female lead testing the male lead. These two babies are so cute, like glutinous rice balls. Auntie wants to kiss them. My mind is completely on the video that was suddenly interrupted. I hope DeBao and Xiaobao weren't scared. I picked up the phone and kept trying to turn it on, but no matter how I pressed it, the screen remained black. Watching Felix Lu standing to the side in anguish, I slapped him across the face. Clatter, crisp and loud. Felix Lu stared at me in disbelief. Stellation, how dare you hit me? You dare hit me for those two bastards? Clatter, another slap landed. Felix Lu grabbed my wrist, his eyes filled with a deep, dark gloom. Are you that desperate? You just left me and already hooked up with some random guy. Tell me, who the hell was it? Who dared to touch my woman? I'll make sure they suffer a fate worse than death. Looking at the hysterical man in front of me, I suddenly felt bored. Belated affection is cheaper than grass, let alone this disgusting so-called affection? Seeing that I didn't speak, Felix Lu seemed to have thought of something and showed me a contemptuous expression. Stellation, don't tell me you were cheated by someone outside, had 2 bastards and then got abandoned? Su also seized the opportunity and grabbed Felix Lu's other hand. Sister, how can you be so unloving? Felix has been waiting for you for 5 years. Is this how you treat him? How can you be worthy of Felix? I originally thought that Felix would be happy if you were together, but now it seems I won't let go. Felix Lu's group of friends also advised him one after another. Felix, you can't marry this shameless woman. Bringing her home would make the Lu family a laughingstock. Let her go. Only Su's deep affection is worthy of the century wedding Felix has meticulously prepared. Felix Lu closed his eyes, his brow furrowed, then relaxed after a moment. He released my wrist, throwing me aside, and instead took Su's hand, interlacing his fingers with hers. In 3 days I invite everyone to the Hill Manor to attend my wedding with Su. Su flushed with excitement, casting a triumphant look at me. As if to say, see, you can't beat me at all. Felix Lu also looked at me, his eyes full of complexity. Stella, you were supposed to be the one I walked down the aisle with, but you didn't cherish it and messed around outside. The Lu family can't accept a headmistress like you. So, I can't fulfill the promise I made back then. Although all of this is your own fault, I can't let you go after all. He sighed, his voice tinged with bitterness. You and I grew up together, I really didn't expect things to come to this. You figured I have you in my heart and can't do anything about you, right? Stellation, you have no heart. But why can't I let you go? Felix Lu murmured, his voice choked with sobs. Stellation, you are no longer worthy to be my wife, but I am willing to reserve a place for you as long as you send away those 2 bastards. I can accept you again. Su is understanding, tolerant and generous. As long as you stop acting up, she will definitely accept you. I was so angry I almost laughed. How dare he ask me to be his mistress? Jealousy and resentment flashed in Su's eyes, but she pretended to be generous and said, Sister, this is your last chance. As long as you are willing to turn away from evil and serve Brother Felix well with me, I am willing to forgive and accept you. A black line slid down my forehead. First, I will not send the child away, and I don't want to have anything to do with President Lu. Second, Miss Lee, Please stop being hostile to me. I don't want to compete with you for a man at all. Please don't pretend to call me sister. Aren't you tired of acting like this? Third, I sincerely wish you both a happy marriage that lasts 100 years, and may you have a son soon. Felix Liu was convinced that I was just being stubborn, and he patiently said, "All right, stop standing at the door, let's go into the private room. Stella, you love Yantings. Buddha jumps over the wall and squirrelfish the most. I'll order them all for you later, so please don't be petty with me anymore. My patience is limited." The comments are flying by. I think the plot is a bit strange. The male lead doesn't seem to understand human language. It's not just the male lead who doesn't understand human language. The female supporting role and the male lead's brothers don't understand human language either. For some reason I feel that the female lead is suffering too much. A normal person staying with a group of mentally ill people must be very tired. I am indeed very tired. Fight. I definitely can't beat this group of people. But how can I communicate with someone who doesn't understand human language? Call for help. My phone is broken. I turned around and left. Susu's voice was filled with glee. Why did sister leave? Is she unhappy with your arrangements, brother Felix? She's just too ashamed to stay. Forget about her, let's eat by ourselves. I'll have Chin Xen pack a separate portion of her favorite dishes to send over later. Felix Liu's voice drifted into my ears from afar, and I couldn't help but quicken my pace. By the time I got home the sun had already set. Chin Xen was waiting in front of my house. Seeing me get out of the car, he placed the packed lunch boxes on the ground, blocking my way. The words Yen Ting were printed on the packaging bag, and I could smell a rich aroma even through the bag. Take it away, I said coldly. Chin Xen's face was full of disdain. Miss Shin, you are just Mr. Liu's mistress now. What right do you have to disobey him? I advise you to obediently pick up the food on the ground, and don't displease Mr. Liu any further, otherwise, you won't even get this bit of charity. Get out. I kicked the packaging box away, not even glancing at him, and walked straight into the villa. The next day I found a familiar gold-embossed invitation card placed at the door. It seemed that Chin Xen had left it yesterday. Groom, Felix Liu. Bride, Su. I pressed my hand against my forehead. Then as he wishes. Hill Manor covers nearly 10,000 acres, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and facing the sea on 1 side, with beautiful scenery like a fairyland in a painting. My dream used to be to have a dreamlike wedding at Hill Manor. This wish has long been fulfilled, and that person even bought Hill Manor and gave it to me as a wedding gift. It was from that day on that I opened Hill Manor for free weddings for lovers. However, I limit it to 1 couple per month, and those who are destined can draw the opportunity. After sending people to investigate, I discovered that someone inside had taken money and manipulated things behind the scenes to give the opportunity to Felix Liu. I instructed the person in charge of Hill Manor to proceed with the arrangements as usual, ensuring that Felix Liu would have an unforgettable wedding. 2 days passed quickly, and on the wedding day, I arrived at Hill Manor with my bodyguards. The wedding area was located on the island in the center of the lake. The bodyguards had already gone in ahead of time, blending into the crowd. The waiter at the entrance looked at the invitation in my hand and stopped me directly. Miss Shin, this invitation of yours is specially made. The bride specifically instructed that you have to wait outside until the ring exchange ceremony is completed before you can enter the inner venue. Is Su trying to set rules for me? I didn't stop and continued to walk inside. The waiter hurried forward trying to grab me. Are you sure you want to grab my clothes? This haute couture dress I'm wearing is worth 3 million. When the waiter heard the price, he didn't dare to stop me and retreated to the entrance in fright. There were quite a few people attending the wedding on the entire island in the lake, gathering in small groups, either discussing business or chatting and laughing. Su felt her eyelids twitching since early morning. Although she had instructed the waiters not to let me in, she kept an eye on the entrance. The moment I stepped into the inner hall, her gaze was fixed on me. Which young lady is that? She looks incredibly elegant. She's so beautiful, even more dazzling than today's bride. Seeing everyone's attention focused on me, they actually overlooked that she was the main character today. Su was so angry that her teeth itched. She rushed in front of me. How did you get in here? I retorted. Didn't you invite me? Su raised her voice. I clearly asked. Why are you afraid of me coming in? Could it be that if I come, Felix Liu will give up marrying you? She was choked by my words, her face a little unsightly. How could I be afraid of you? I just think you're not worthy to defile my pure wedding with Felix. Someone throw her out. 2 security guards walked towards me, immediately recognizing me because I had given them prior notice, so they didn't reveal my identity. But they wouldn't listen to Su and kick me out. What a joke, who would dare to kick the boss out? Seeing the 2 unmoved, Su became exasperated. What's going on with you 2? I order you to kick her out. Immediately. Right now. Otherwise, I'll have you packing your bags and leaving immediately. Ms. Lee, I think you've got something wrong. We are staff members of Hill Manor and are not subject to your orders. Su's face flushed red and then turned pale. Do you know the Liu Group? I am Mr. Liu's future wife. How dare you disrespect me? I'll make sure you regret this. Ms. Lee, please do not disrupt the order. Otherwise we have the right to withdraw the venue and blacklist the Liu Group, with no further cooperation. Enough, what do you look like behaving this way in public? The commotion here was significant. Felix Liu saw Su arguing with the manor security and immediately came over to stop it. It seems your background is ultimately a disadvantage, showing a lack of perspective. Do you realize that after today your words and actions represent the Liu family? I hope you can integrate into high society soon and not embarrass the Liu family. Seeing Felix Liu was really angry, Su carefully tugged at his sleeve. Brother Felix, I didn't do it on purpose. It's all these security guards' fault for not listening. Felix Liu covered her mouth, his face gloomy. Be careful what you say, the power behind this Hill Manor is said to be the Pei family. Su's face suddenly turned pale. That legendary Pei family. Yes. The Pei family, the head of the top families in China. Now you know why I told you not to talk nonsense. If you offend the Pei family, our small Liu group is vulnerable in front of them. Hearing Felix Liu solemnly explaining the Pei family to Su, I couldn't help but chuckle. Felix Liu looked at me and in the next second, a look of amazement appeared in his eyes. Stella, you look beautiful today. Su coughed lightly and he then came back to his senses. I'm getting married today, the only regret is the bride isn't you. But in my heart I always put you in the most important position. You say you don't care, but I know you love me too, otherwise with your temper, you wouldn't have come here today at all. I made a pause gesture and said with a fake smile, if you have to think that way, there's nothing I can do. I'm just extremely grateful that I didn't marry into your Liu family. I was about to turn around and leave when 2 little children ran over like little rubber balls, muttering, Mom, Daba Bao and Zaya Bao are here. The brightest smile in recent days appeared on my face, and I squatted down to hug the 2 little darlings, one on each side, kissing each of their foreheads. Daba Bao, Zaya Bao, who brought you here? It was Grandma. The 2 little ones said in unison, and only then did I see my mother chasing after us, panting. You 2 little treasures, slow down. I was just about to ask where the children's father was, when I heard Felix Liu ask, Auntie, did Stella really get married? My mom probably felt a little speechless too, but she had watched Felix Liu grow up since he was a child. When he was a child, he was considered a good and promising young man, and she was quite optimistic about Felix Liu as a future son-in-law. But for some reason, one day Felix Liu suddenly went astray. After what happened 5 years ago, my mom naturally disliked Felix Liu very much because she felt sorry for me. Yes, I'm married. The tone was indifferent, and I originally thought Felix Liu would have the self-awareness to leave on his own. Who knew he'd take a step closer, and in front of my mother, his eyes reddened. Auntie, please don't help Stella deceive me. Even though we've been apart for 5 years, Stella and I are still deeply in love with each other. I hope you can grant us your blessing. My mom was taken aback, but her mind raced. Felix Liu, have you lost your mind? Today is your big day with that Su. Why are you dragging my daughter into this? You have no shame, but we do. Daydreaming in broad daylight, actually fantasizing about my daughter being your mistress? Who dares to covet my wife? The tone was calm, yet it carried an inherent pressure that reached the ears of everyone present. The comment section suddenly exploded with activity. Holy crap, what's going on? It feels like the big boss is making an entrance. Didn't you guys notice? The male lead marker on Felix Liu has disappeared. Did the male lead's name become Asher Pei? Asher Pei, my husband, approached step by step with steady strides. He reached out and pulled me into his arms, gently caressing my waist with one hand, asserting his dominance. Who is he? Felix Lu's expression changed drastically and he jumped out to question me. Such an obvious answer, yet he was still unwilling to give up and asked me again. I gently tugged on Asher Pei's tie. He chuckled softly, Andudong dito. Looking at the thin lips so close, I kissed him. A blush crept onto my cheeks and after my breathing calmed, I introduced him to Felix Lu. My husband, Asher Pei. Felix Lu's pupils constricted as if he had heard something unacceptable. No. Stella, did he force you? The only person you've ever loved is me, right? I will definitely snatch you back from him. As he said this, a scarlet hatred burst from Felix Lu's eyes, like a sharp knife stabbing towards Asher Pei. Felix Lu, you're wrong. Our fate ended 5 years ago. Right now, in my eyes and in my heart, there is only one person and that is Asher Pei. I moved my feet slightly, blocking in front of Asher Pei, and only heard him chuckle twice in a low voice, holding me even tighter. I breathed a sigh of relief. The guy behind me is a big jealous pot. If he overthinks things, I'm afraid I'll be tormented badly tonight. Felix Lu paused, roaring, I don't believe it. Unless you prove it to me. Daddy, this uncle is so scary, like a monster that eats children. Debao clung to Asher Pei's leg, peeking out from behind him. Brother, how many times have I told you there are no monsters in the world? His symptoms should be what Dr. Wong called mental illness. Xiaobao raised his little head, pointing a finger at Felix Lu's nose. Asher Pei chuckled. Is there even a need to prove it? Debao and Xiaobao are clearly miniature versions of Asher Pei. Anyone with eyes can see that we are a family of 4. Seeing that Felix Lu was still being so devoted to me, Su moved closer, hugging his arm, tears welling up in her eyes. Felix, she's already teamed up with some random guy to embarrass you. Are you really going to let her continue to trample on your feelings? It's the first time someone has called me a wild man. Asher Pei said with a smile that wasn't quite a smile. Could it be that I've been away from China for too long and no one remembers my name anymore? The crowd suddenly stirred. Oh my God, he is the legendary Asher Pei, the iron-fisted head of the Pei Corporation. I was lucky enough to see President Pei from afar once. This aura, it's him. That Miss Shen with her outstanding temperament, is actually President Pei's wife. They're such a perfect match. Felix Lu's face stiffened and he kept muttering, this is impossible, impossible. Stepping back, he knocked into the 8-tiered champagne tower behind him with a crash. The glasses toppled one after another, champagne spilled all over the floor and shards of glass flew everywhere. Felix Lu was drenched in alcohol from head to toe, looking utterly disheveled. You wretch. Are you trying to ruin the Lu family? The Lu family has only just been handed over to you and you've already caused such a disaster. Hurry up and come over here and apologize to President Pei. Lu's father was about to be infuriated to death by Felix Lu. He had only been away for a moment, and he had already offended the great Buddha that was the Pei family. President Pei, my son's eyes failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please be magnanimous and forgive him this once. Mr. Lu, who had stood upright his entire life, was now hunched over, begging Asher Pei for forgiveness. Dad, don't beg him, he's just a fake. Clatter. Mr. Lu used all his strength, leaving a purplish-blue palm print on Felix Lu's face. You bastard, kneel down. Apologize to President Pei and Madame Pei. Felix Lu could no longer deceive himself because of his father's attitude. His legs gave way and he knelt down before us, his eyes filled with humiliation, his face ashen. President Pei, Madame Pei. I was blind and offended you both. Please forgive me. Forget it, don't ever appear in front of me again. I said this lightly, pulling Asher Pei and the 2 children ready to leave. I had planned to reveal my identity and humiliate them during the wedding, driving these 2 out of Hill Manor. I didn't expect Asher Pei to return to the country early and appear here, and the Lu father, out of fear of the Pei family, forced Felix Lu to kneel and admit his mistake. My goal has been achieved. Now Felix Lu is just an insignificant clown in my eyes, and I can't be bothered to care about what happens to him. Su threw herself into Felix Lu's arms, looking distressed. Brother Felix, you still have me. I will always be with you. As long as you turn around, I'll be right behind you. The speakers on both sides of the venue, which had been playing piano music, suddenly emitted a crackling noise. The next second, Susu's voice came from the speakers. Stella Shin? So what if she was born into a good family? She's still my loser. I just shed a couple of tears and Felix Liu believed me. She could only slink away and go abroad. That idiot Felix Liu really thinks I love him to death. If it weren't for his family's money and to marry into the Liu family, I wouldn't bother acting with him. Haha, this is hilarious. He actually thought my grandma was killed by his car. I had my eyes on him a long time ago and sent my grandma to stage an accident. I didn't expect to find such a sucker. If I don't take advantage of him, who else would I take advantage of? Felix Liu seemed to be struck by lightning. He grabbed Susu's wrist, his nails digging deeply into her flesh. Was all your tenderness, all your kindness just an act? You bitch, you've been deceiving me and using me all along for money. Susu cried, her face streaked with tears as she shook her head repeatedly. It's not like that, Felix. Stella Shin set this whole thing up to frame me. Have you forgotten all the moments we've shared over the past 5 years? My love is genuine. Felix refused to listen to her excuses any longer and roared. You're probably still laughing at me for being a fool, aren't you? Being played around by a bitch like you. If you hadn't stirred up trouble, how would Stella and I have had a misunderstanding? Without you, Stella wouldn't have left me. Susu's hand was almost crushed by Felix Liu. She struggled desperately but couldn't break free. She was provoked by the malice in Felix Liu's eyes and stopped pretending, sneering. That's right, you're just an idiot. If you hadn't been born into a good family, do you think I would have even looked at you? I've been trying to win you over for 5 years. Even a dog would have been moved by now, but you kept me hanging on while still dreaming of marrying Stella Shin. Felix Liu, you're disgusting. Shut up. Just shut up. Felix Liu grabbed Susu's neck, completely losing it. Susu was nearly suffocated. Her long nails clawed at Felix Liu relentlessly, and in a desperate attempt to break free, she kicked him in the groin with all her might. Ugh! Felix Liu kicked in a sensitive area, writhed in pain, veins popping, and threw Susu into the pile of shattered glass from the collapsed champagne tower. Susu's exposed skin was instantly cut, and she rolled around on the ground in pain. The more she moved, the more wounds she sustained. At my gesture, the security personnel immediately stepped forward to restrain the enraged Felix Liu. What are you stopping them for? Isn't dog eat dog quite interesting? Asher Pei squeezed my hand and whispered in my ear. I was a little helpless. I had already guessed that he was behind Susu's exposure. This is where we got married, don't get it dirty. Asher Pei looked pleased, seemingly satisfied with my answer, but said, just as long as you're not missing that ex-boyfriend of yours. I chuckled. Is he worth getting jealous over? It's not just anyone who can catch my eye. I knew my wife only had eyes for me. He lowered his head and captured my lips. My mom quickly covered the eyes of the 2 children. Oh, how embarrassing. De Bao and Xiao Bao shouldn't watch. At this moment the comments also popped up. I remember the original ending was, Stella Shin forgave Felix Liu, and the 2 of them lived a long and happy life together. Felix Liu is clearly the male lead. How could he just disappear like that? How could a tanan like him be worthy of being the male lead? Maybe the author has revised the story. Asher Pei and the female lead are a perfect match. Help. My head is full of the sweet kisses between the young couple just now. I'm moving my little stool and waiting for the shoo-shoo plot to come, haha. Agreed. +1. The restrained Felix Liu suddenly trembled, as if he had seen something unbelievable. His eyes were dull, and then he seemed to grasp some crucial information and a glimmer of light burst out in his eyes. Ha! I am the male lead. I am the male lead. Felix Liu Yangtian laughed, a surge of power coursing through his body, breaking free from restraint and rushing towards Asher Pei and me. The bodyguards swarmed forward, blocking Felix Liu. Asher Pei, I am the chosen one, the master of this world, get out of my way. Felix Liu was smug and said to me again, Stella, come here, I can forgive you this time. I realized that Felix Liu could also see the comments. Leave it to me. Asher Pei put away the smile he had when facing me and looked at Felix Liu with icy eyes. The 2 men confronted each other and Felix Liu, like a mad beast, charged at Asher Pei first. Asher Pei's expression remained unchanged and he calmly raised his leg, kicking Felix Liu away. Felix Liu got up and Asher Pei kicked him again. Prol kick. Felix Liu lay on the ground panting like a dead dog, while Asher Pei's shoe was firmly planted on his face. Stella Shin's male lead can only be me. Get lost. Asher Pei released his foot, wiped his hands with a tissue and threw it in Felix Liu's face. It belatedly dawned on me. Husband, you can see them too? Shoo, Asher Pei smiled mysteriously and said in a voice only the two of yous could hear. They said they want to see some steamy scenes. I covered his mouth and threatened him with my eyes. I'll deal with you when we get home. But in the end I didn't get to deal with him. Instead he pinned me down and dealt with me. The next day I rubbed my sore waist while eating the loving breakfast Asher Pei had made for me. He mentioned casually that after we left, Su had mocked Felix Liu as a homeless dog. In a fit of rage, Felix Liu slashed her face with glass, and the police eventually took them both away. The farce came to an end. Not long after, the Liu group was heavily in debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. Old Mr. Liu denounced his unfilial son and removed Felix Liu from the family. Su accused Felix Liu of intentional injury, while Felix Liu accused Su of fraud, and both were imprisoned. I looked at Asher Pei who had his arm around my waist, Debao who was hugging my left leg and Xiaobao who was hugging my right leg. A loving husband, children and a warm bed. This life is enough. End of text.